Hey everybody, Chris with Up North AirGunner. So today we're taking out the FX Impact 35 cal. So far in my first look with this new rifle, yeah, we can say that it's definitely a heavy hitter. I had the opportunity to test out some of the new FX Impact hybrid slugs in the 68 grain size. Those things can put some smack onto some meat. Yep, so FX is still working out the slug liner on this bad boy. And so yeah, so these hybrids should be ready sometime later on this summer, but got my hands on some. I was able to do some terminal ballistics testing. And I'll tell you what, if you want a slug that can expand about the size of your finger in a 35 cal, this thing is going to be absolutely wicked on medium to smaller, large game animals. I've gotten a lot of questions on social media about, is this thing competition ready? And but today I wanted to take it out and see how it bucks the wind with these 81 grain JSB pellets. So in all the competitions that I've been watching, I've noticed that basically if you look at the scores to get you into the finals, roughly if you can keep that shot in the 8 ring for 25 shots, so you've got a chance at that point to getting into the finals. So that's kind of my goal, basically. Obviously, we all want to hit X's and we all want to hit 10s, but coming out here and shooting in the wind at 100 yards, setting those expectations of what you can do as a shooter, what the rifle can do. This thing right here, I've got it tuned down to 840 feet per second, and I am pellet on pellet at 50 yards. At 100 yards with the wind swirling like this, if the wind dies down, I'm holding MOA groups. The second the wind kicks up, that pellet can swing off one direction or the next, or push it up or push it down. So yeah, I've got these Airgun Sporting Association targets from RX Target Systems and really heavyweight paper. I don't really have them set up correctly on my target stand. They're kind of flopping in the breeze, so that's probably going to throw off some of my groups a little bit, but you can get a chance to get a sense of the accuracy. So when tuned properly, so I'm going to make a prediction. This is definitely going to be a competition level air gun. Again, I've got a lot to learn about shooting in the wind. I don't have any wind flags up, but I'm learning a lot as I go. So anyway, let's set these targets up. Let's burn through 2-hole magazines and let's see what we can do. All right, here we go. So yeah, I've made some modifications to the FX Impact 35 cal as it comes from FX. You can take this thing out of the box as it comes from FX, and this thing is a shooter. There are some things, though, that I learned as I watched some of the competitive shooters. There are some really critical things that go on during competitions. The 100-yard bench rest competition, it's a 25 target course of fire. And so with that, the ability to have as much onboard air for me, I think, is pretty critical. You'll notice in competition, guys are taking a ton of sighter shots depending on how windy it is. You'll see in the shot groups I'm shooting here, when that wind shifts just a little bit, you're off by 2 or 3 inches. So using those sighters is super critical. So I got the double bottle system from Saber Tactical, and this is through Ken Hicks at Southern Precision Air Weapons. And I've got the 2 larger carbon fiber tanks on here. So I've got a ton of onboard air. So as I'm shooting, I'm pretty much sure I'm not going to fall off the reg. I definitely need to keep an eye on it if I end up taking a lot of sighters. You'll see some of these in competition, well, depending on what competition you're shooting in, making sure to check your competition rules. But definitely at the Pyramid Cup and the Rocky Mountain Airgun Challenge, the double bottle system is allowed. And so definitely that's going to help not have to worry about how much air I have and falling off the regulator during competition. The other thing I switched to was the Ergo Air grip. If you'll notice, there's basically no angle on that. And for me and my shooting style, I tend to never wrap my thumb around the grip. I like to keep my thumb up out of the way. You'll talk to a lot of competitive shooters and they'll tell you your thumb is your worst enemy when trying to shoot accurately. So absolutely love this grip for competitive shooting. And the other thing I've got going on today, this is the new Element Titan scope. You'll see in the scope cam picture. The scope cam does not do this thing justice. This is absolutely clear. I've actually got it zeroed at 100 yards. And man, I'll tell you what, just absolutely love everything that Element Optics is putting out so far. The Helix, the Nexus, the Titan. So on my channel, you'll be able to see all of these, but right now I've got my hands on the Titan. So this is absolutely my favorite scope I've ever shot with. Can't wait to get my hands on the Nexus, because if it looks this good through the Titan, Man, that Nexus has got to be like seeing into the future. I mean, it's pretty awesome. So everything else is bone stock. I've got it tuned down again to 840 feet per second. So, and I also have the Atlas Cal bipod. So ideally, I'm going to be upgrading to the Saber Tactical extended rail system, either the Arca Swiss or the Picatinny. Either way, ideally, I'd like to have that bipod out front a little bit better. But yeah, there she is, shooting out there to 100 yards, way out there. All right, here we go, 100 yards. Shoot a 25 shot group. Very inconsistent wind, but let's see what we can do. Here we go. Magazine change. So there it is, air gunners. No editing, no funny tricks. You can actually see that, you know, I've got a lot of work to do shooting in the wind and holding my stability a little bit better. Right now I'm using this Caldwell bag in the rear. It's too hard. I really want to get my hands on a softer rear bag just to be able to do some like micro adjustments and being able to hold that stability a little bit. But yeah, this is a little stiff. You're going to want to go with something that's a little bit softer that you can actually manipulate a little bit more with your hands. But so I promise I don't have early onsets of Parkinson's. It was pretty shaky, but man, the gun is performing. I mean, that group in that kind of inconsistent wind, you know, holding a group like that, I got thrown off a couple times there in the wind, but man, I'll take it. I'm going to call this competition ready. In the hands of the right shooter, this thing could be on the podium. You could be on the podium. Just get out there, practice. A lot of trigger time, burning through these JSB 35 cals. I may have to remortgage my home, but these things are absolutely awesome. The JSBs are fantastic. You definitely want to sort through your tin. That was a completely unsorted tin. I was basically just pulling it right out of the tin, loading it in the magazine. So stay tuned for some more FX Impact videos. This is Chris with Up North Air Gunner. Take care.